The tours start every 15 minutes at 10:15 and then all the way up to 4 p.m.
Hi, we're the Bigelows of the Bigelow Tea Company.
Welcome to the Charleston Tea Plantation.
While tea grows in some 34 countries around the world, surprisingly there's only one tea estate in all of North America.
And that's right here at the Charleston Tea Plantation.
In the late 1800s, Dr. Charles Shepherd created the Pinehurst Tea Plantation in nearby Somerville, South Carolina. He brought the finest ancestral tea bushes from China and India to Pinehurst, where the plants flourished. That's because this area around Charleston, known as the Low Country, provides all the natural elements so necessary to growing tea. In 1960, direct botanical descendants of those Pinehurst plants were transplanted to the Charleston Tea Plantation's garden, where they were lovingly restored to their former grandeur. Today, we have hundreds of thousands of tea bushes on a 127-acre farm. Charleston Tea Plantation is special because it's the only place in North America where tea is both grown and manufactured. It's the home of American classic tea. Now, if you kindly walk to the next video screen, we'd like to tell you all about how American classic tea is created.
Okay guys, off to the next screen. Witzig. So kann man das auch machen. Ne?
The tea bush is an evergreen plant that goes dormant in the winter and loves the summer when it's very hot. 100+ degrees during the day with lots of humidity and rain. Because Charleston Tea Plantation receives an average 75 days of rain in this area each year, this is an ideal location for growing tea. Every spring, as our tea bushes wake up from their winter nap and feel the warmth of the new summer sun, they flush up 3 to 5 inches of new shoots. It is from these tiny, fresh new leaves that we produce our American classic tea. Once we cut off these new shoots, the tea bush will flush up another 3 to 5 inch growth in 14 to 21 days. In a typical summer, from May through September, we get anywhere from 7 to 10 cuttings from the same bush.
Wow.
Incidentally, the tea bush is naturally insect and disease resistant. It can grow for hundreds of years, yet still maintain a high quality level of leaf production. And we are very proud of our all-natural growing process here at the Charleston Tea Plantation. We do not use any insecticides or fungicides on the tea plants we have here in the garden. To plant new fields, we clone new seedlings from the cuttings of existing plants. From those cuttings, new seedlings will take 3 to 4 years to grow to maturity. Now let's look at the fine art of creating tea. The first thing we do is gather fresh new tea leaves from the field. We do this by employing a custom-designed tea leaf harvester, which we've nicknamed our Green Giant. There is no other machine like this in all of North America. The precise scissor-action cutting bar clips the newest, youngest leaves from the tea bush. Using a powerful air blower mounted on the front of the harvester, newly plucked leaves are blown up a chute and into a holding basket at the rear of the vehicle. All day long, the leaves are collected and brought to the factory, where they are laid out on a vast wire mesh bed. It is here that the process called withering begins. The purpose of withering is to remove 12% of the moisture from the tea leaves, leaving the leaf soft and pliable. As our leaves come in from the field, a huge auger distributes them evenly to a depth of up to 12 inches over our 18-foot wide, 45-foot long belt. Revolving iron rods help to prod the leaves into place. Once the loading of the bed is completed, these 5,000 pounds of tea leaves will rest quietly for a period of 18 hours. Beneath the bed, huge blowers circulate air through the leaves, keeping them fresh as the moisture is being removed. Once our leaves are wilted, they're ready for the third step in tea making. It is essential to know that a tea leaf is composed of 20% solids, 80% liquids, and contains millions of cells. To make tea, we must rupture those cells, exposing the liquid in the cells to the oxygen in the air. And now, would you please proceed to the next screen?
Hier rechts kann man diese große Maschine sehen. You can see the big machine here on the right that they were just mentioning. Ah, weiter geht's. Have to proceed.
As we just learned, tea is composed of 20% solids, 80% liquids, and contains millions of cells. To make tea, we must rupture those cells, exposing the liquid in the cells to the oxygen in the air. The amount of time that the liquid in the leaf is exposed to air determines whether we get black tea, oolong tea, or green tea. To rupture the cells and tear the tea leaf into hundreds of tiny pieces for tea bags, the wilted leaves are run through a machine called a rotovane. The rotovane is a cylindrical chamber containing a shaft with teeth called veins. High-speed rotating veins intermesh with stationary veins to crush and tear the leaves. It is this grinding action which ruptures the cells of the leaves and exposes their juices to the air. We use two rotovanes in tandem. The tea then falls into a third grinder that fluffs the tea and breaks the clumps in order for the tea to fully oxidize. This gives our tea a particularly fine color. The amount of oxidation in the next step determines the type of tea: black, green, and oolong. To make oolong and black tea, broken leaves are spread evenly to a depth of 2 inches onto an oxidation bed. Here, the newly broken leaf, with all of its exposed juices, travels ever so slowly from one end of the belt to the other, a distance of 28 feet. During this time, a complex chemical event takes place, which changes the broken leaf from a greenish color at the start to a brownish color at the end. This is the miracle of tea making, the point at which tea develops all of its rich color and flavor. For black tea, the time on the oxidation bed is 50 minutes. That period of time will produce the rich amber color and the full-bodied flavor we enjoy as black tea. For oolong tea, the type of tea served in most Chinese restaurants, the time will be only 15 minutes. That will give us a lighter golden brown color in the cup and a delicate nut-like flavor so good with Chinese food. As for green tea, there is no time, 0 minutes, on the withering bed and on the oxidation bed. The minute it comes in from the field, it is steamed to stop any possible oxidation, put through the rotovane, and then immediately into a dryer. With no oxidation whatsoever, green tea is going to be very pale in color and quite delicate in flavor. To stop the oxidation process quickly, whether it's black tea, oolong tea, or green tea, we put our tea into an enclosed dryer, where it travels very slowly back and forth at 250 degrees for 25 minutes. During this time, all the goodness of flavor will be totally sealed and preserved in our tiny tea leaves. The only way the flavor can be released is immersion in boiling water. At this point in the process, our finished tea product has lost nearly 97% of its moisture and 80% of its weight. In other words, every 5 pounds of fresh leaf brought in from the field yields only 1 pound of finished tea. After the tea exits the dryer, it contains a large amount of stalk and fiber left over from the harvesting process. To remove all of this material, the tea is passed through two major sieves. As the tea falls through the first sieve, most of the stalk and fiber are removed. In the second sieve, more stalk and fiber are separated. As our tea exits the second sieve, it still contains a very small amount of stalk and fiber. To remove the last of this material, we're going to use the magic of static electricity to lift this residue, which is lighter than the tea. The static electricity is created by plastic reels brushing up against felt pads. Finally, here comes our beautiful finished tea, all ready to become a part of our American classic tea. Only about 20 hours ago, our tea was growing in the field. Now we have this beautiful pure black tea. Think of all the pleasure this tea is going to give in the cup or glass.
So as you've seen, the making of tea is a very special process. We hope you've learned a lot.
And thanks so much for being with us today.